Would you guys be there for me if I was going through something?
No.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
I hope it sucks whatever you're going through.
I hope it sucks.
What the fuck?
I hope it emotionally scars you for the rest of your life.
I hope you reach out to me so I can ignore you.
Remember me when the sun comes up in the morning sky, there I will be.
A message for President Snow. You can torture us and bomb.
This isn't meant for bullying and harassing, but for educational purposes only. What is happening here? What is going on? Because this is the second video I've seen this morning. Please share this and get this out there. I'm sorry if I seem nasty or frustrated. It's because I am. Actually, the whole Native community is extremely frustrated. We have asked you, non-Native and Indigenous people, to stop using the red handprint over the mouth. It is not meant for you. If you Google red handprint over the mouth, the first thing that pops up is MMIW, missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and two spirits. And that red handprint is solely worn by survivors or family members that are waiting for their loved ones to come home. I'm sounding like a broken record here. We're 10 times more likely to go missing than any other race. 4 to 5 of us will experience SA and rape in our lifetime, and there's over 3,000 of us that are missing, and that number continues to grow. We speak about this epidemic on a daily basis, and because you want to use that red handprint, it is drowning out our movement. Stop it, please. Respect us and do better. Thank you.
Everybody wants to talk about Modern Warrior, and nobody wants to talk about the kids still being found at the residential schools. Or the 950 kids that fucking went missing in Tennessee, July 5th. 950 kids from the fucking adoption care system gone missing. All the kids that were fucking transported by ICE that have gone missing. Fuck Modern Warrior. Like...
Hundreds of federal schools forced assimilation. Most of the schools were in Oklahoma, Arizona, and New Mexico. According to the report, children were separated from their families and forced to unlearn their languages and culture. The rules were often enforced through punishment, including solitary confinement, flogging, withholding of food, and whipping. The initial analysis found more than 500 American Indian, Alaskan Native, and Native Hawaiian children died in 19 of the schools. As the investigation continues, the number of deaths is expected to rise. Interior Secretary Deb Haaland, who formerly served as a New Mexico congresswoman, says she wants to address these atrocities.
Or consider yourself to be a white ally. I have a challenge for you.
I need your help. You see, there's topics that the Indigenous community needs you to talk about for us because nobody listens to us when we say it. Now, maybe some people on this app don't appreciate you, but I do. Here's what I need you to spread the word about and make content about. I need you to look up and research the federal boarding school reports that were released on May 11th and make content about it. That's something even the other members of the BIPOC community are not doing. These federal boarding school reports are the first time in history that the government has admitted to what it's done, and it proves that the church was involved. Second, this is going to be happening. I'd like you to spread the word about that and make sure there's a nice big sea of orange shirts to meet them. Thank you, and I very much appreciate it.
215 and counting, children 6 feet underground. This isn't who we are, but this is where we're from somehow. Our history has pages missing, now it's been exposed. So bring your salt to school, kids, question everything you're told. Seems history.
This message is for the white-bodied folks, specifically if you have ancestry from Europe. Decolonial work also applies to you because you've also been colonized. Every culture has an indigenous spiritual practice with its own specific ways of rituals, ceremonies, and magic. And every culture had its own cosmovision. These spiritual practices were wiped away by the Catholic Church. Just think about it. If everybody had a direct connection to God and Source, it's so much harder to control people. The Druids, the Norse, the Italians, the Slavics, You all had an indigenous spiritual practice, but had to forget them to survive. And when you did practice, you were burnt at the stake. So it's no wonder why some of you feel reluctant to fight with us, because somewhere in your DNA epigenetically you remember, and to accept that is just so fucking painful.
They're ready to go to battle. Yesterday, this country celebrated the signing of a legal document labeling natives as merciless Indian savages to justify genocide. So when you're painting your chins and faces, do you really think that you're going to be seen as separate? Or do you think that maybe perhaps you're contributing to the dehumanization of Native peoples? Because on the contrary, if you really want to be seen as merciless, then maybe dress up as yourselves. Because as far as natives are concerned, we are so merciful that we have been patient enough to put up with this for hundreds of years. And not to detract from Roe v. Wade being overturned, but ICWA is up next. That's the Indian Child Welfare Act that keeps Native kids with their Native families, because there needs to be actual legal documents to keep us together.
Bring the action.
Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky, there I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free.